Hello and welcome to the Admin By Request demo. Today we're gonna be demonstrating how our EPM product, Endpoint Privilege Management product, is going to work, and we're gonna show a few examples of how you can implement it, how you can set it up, and how you can get it running smoothly. For starters, you access the portal Admin By Request. This is our landing page. In here you can read a little bit about our platform, our solutions. There's something about compliance to the left here. You can see we are GDPR, we SOC 2, we have ISO 27 and 27701. We also have documentation, legal. Here you can see our trust center, our compliance mapping, and our legal hub. So just for starters, the trust center, this is something that we see a lot of people fancy to look at. Here you can get the unprotected documents and our protected documents. So if you are curious about the compliance of our product, this is the place to go. But for the demo, I would like to showcase that we have a free plan. Today it says, but this free plan is meant to be forever. So the free plan, if we click here, consists of 25 free licenses. So you get all the core features. You do not have immediate support. You can get help with some onboarding and the initial setup, but nothing else but that. Besides that, there's the limitation of 25 licenses. If you need more than 25 licenses, you need to migrate to the paid plan, where you also would get access to our incredible support. But besides that, you can go ahead and try the free plan. You can set it up how you want. It's important to say that everything you set up on the free plan will be like that. And when you migrate from the free plan to the paid plan, everything from the free plan goes there also. So you do not waste time with the free plan. It's a good way to get it rolling, to test it out, stress test it in different scenarios. Developers might have some different use cases that they would like to see approved before you roll it out to the whole organization. So without further ado, you can sign up here, your name, your work email, your phone number, and you can choose your data location. So right now we have these locations: Asia, EU, and UK and US. And more is definitely coming. More on that later. Besides that, type in your mail here, and from there you just go to your login page here, and you sign up with the mail that you assigned. Later on, you can set up so you can sign in with your AD credentials. You can also use Okta or any SAML option that you might have available to you. And I'll showcase you how to set that up properly. But sign up here. And a good idea is to use a general email account, one that multiple people have access to, because this will be the main email address connected to your organization. We can change that, but it's easier if you quit or someone starts or changes teams and stuff like that, that the next guy in line has access to that email. So that can be an easy way to set it up in the beginning. Besides that, we just sign in here, and for the product, we have this landing page. We have the EPM product and we have the secure remote access product. Today we've got mainly talk about the EPM, the privilege protection product, and the admin revoke product. So right now you see I'm on the paid plan. I currently have a usage of 2 licenses, my personal computer and my virtual machine here that I use. Besides that, we've got an audit log. We can see what happens, what incidents is happening in our environment, and we get some recent alerts on here. You can get these alerts reported to you, sent to you by mail, to multiple persons, anything that you would like to do. You can set it up how you would like. get rolling with the product, to deploy it, you simply have to go to the download section here, and you'll see that we have the Windows client here, we have a Mac client, we have a Linux client, and we have a server client also. So to deploy it, you simply just press the download link here, and then you generate a file that is linked to your portal. So it's very important that the file is connected from your portal. And the first time you do that, you'll see it will take a couple of seconds. For the Mac update, or for the Mac client, it will take a little bit longer. We have to be approved by Apple to make that file to be able to deploy it. But you simply just roll it out, and then you open it here. And then there's a simple installer MSI file. And this MSI file you can put on a USB stick and deploy it to your Comrade. You can also take it and deploy it through Intune or Jamf or any other deployment tool that you might use. Send it in the Teams channel or how you would appreciate it. And then you just go to your desktop where you deployed it, and a check mark will show up. If the admin has been successfully revoked, you will see a green check mark. And this is the client that you get on the endpoint. And this is the only client. Even if you scale up with more of our products, you will still only have this client. So this is one shoe fits all client. It's the same client that you'll see on the Windows, on the Mac, and in your Linux environment. And what you'll see here is what version we're currently running. You see a little bit about the connectivity. This is a cloud solution. And you have the option to make a diagnostics report. If you need some help with some certain issues, there might be something conflicting on your end. Our developers can take a look at it. There might be some conflicting issues on our end, and we can definitely then take a look at it and see how we solve the mysterious things that's happening. So you generate a report and you can send it to our support team, and we happily look through it in case of emergency and for the products. Besides that, we have a support assist function, and this is for help desk and that sort of work environment where you have maybe an admin account, an account that can be admin, and you have the right to log into that admin account through the support assist. So you simply just type in your credentials, and then you will be able to log in to this user's context and elevate applications in this user's context. It will still be audited as you elevating, for example, Notepad++ in your colleague's environment. Besides that, we here have the system tab. It says which products are enabled on the endpoint, and it provides you an uninstall option. And especially for Windows and for Mac, and Mac especially, you want to follow the uninstall guide for this. But let's jump into the core features. So once you deploy it, you get the agent. On deployment, the agent has revoked all admin rights by default. So my computer is now successfully a standard user. And what it did was under the lockdown settings. Now I'm currently in the Windows global settings. It's important to say that this portal also fits into the Mac and Linux, as we said. But as you will see when I go to the Mac tab, the tabs are the same. Go to the Linux tab, the tabs are the same. So everything you set up in Windows, you basically can set up in Mac environment and in Linux environment. So the settings is the same. This platform fits all, and it's easy to set up that way. As you will be familiar, once you set it up on your Windows, you will be familiar with the setting and the setup, and you can easily deploy it to your Mac and your Linux. But just to talk about the core features, we have the run as admin and we have the admin session. These are the two options that we provide to elevate applications in your environment. Because once you have downgraded your users, you want to allow them to elevate certain applications to actually complete that job. That could be a dope reader, or it could be a sign here document program, or marketing might need to install a new render tool or anything like that. You see it every day that people, they need new application, especially in the environment with such a fast development of new applications that we see now. Having the ability to elevate at any given time is really relevant. But also for security aspect, having the ability to not elevate can be a significant security increase, so to speak. So what you can do is you can say, okay, I would like no one to run anything on your endpoints. So right now we do not allow runners admin. We do not block runners admin either, so you can provide pin code for applications to be run. And we do not allow admin sessions. So this is a just-in-time elevation, and this is a session. So you get your user elevated for a short period of time, and in the runners admin, you get an application the permission to be elevated. So at no point during the runners admin is the user elevated to an admin user. And just to showcase you this, I'll go to the command prompt, and then there we go. And you will see in the current setting, there are no admins in our environment, and that's perfectly fine. And that's what we want. We don't want anyone to be able to be admin at this given time. And just to test it out, we sync our agent. It syncs automatically every 4th hour, but we can then force it to sync by either opening up the application or shift left click on this icon. Now I opened it up, and you'll see that last time sync was 12:51, which matches what I have here. So if we go ahead and try and do the Notepad++, you will see we get the standard Windows prompt, type in my credentials, and you'll see I was not able to elevate from my endpoint. So it works successfully. Then I can go ahead and say, okay, I would like to allow this to run as admin. I would also like to have an approval, so it has to go through me before I can elevate anything. And I'll put it like this. And we press save. And now we sync the agent again. We open it up, sync this one, and we type in our Notepad++ to run, and we get this prompt. Here you type in your email, you type in your phone number. You can set these two options as optional. You can also set them as not to be there. I know some companies have a policy with no phone numbers. You can just remove that from the settings in the portal. But to be able to elevate this process, you need to provide a reason. I cannot just go ahead and say, okay, I need to say, I am currently testing, and to send it through, I will send this one in, and this will be notified in the portal for the portal users that someone has sent in a request. Okay, the request then enters into this tab here, the request tabs, and you get a short information about the request. You get the email, you get the phone number, you get the viewer that's trying to elevate. You get a little bit about the file here, and there's an app score. We will come into that. And there's a media defender that determines that this application is clean. So we run the AppSwap media defender, and the AppSwap media defender you can press here and then read a little bit about that, but you see that it has currently sandbox application in 8 different tools here. Besides that, if you would like a second opinion on the application that's about to be run, you do a BIOS total, and then BIOS total will say that okay, this one has actually flagged this as malicious, but when 71 other vendors has not flagged it, then it should be okay. So we have now determined that okay, we will allow this to run in our system. If it was malicious, it would turn red here, and we would have deemed it either in denied, quarantine, or block of the application. So we will put it into that category. From here, it's just for you to approve or deny. I would like to approve this application, and you will see on my endpoint here that I get this little pop-up. You would like to run your NoPub++ now, and if you do, you press yes. If you're in a Teams meeting or anything like that, you simply just press no. Let me just refresh here. You see, this consumes the pending ticket. The ticket will then be under the approve section, where you can withdraw it. It lasts in here for 14 days or until you press deny. So if you have an end of day policy where you like, okay, by the end of the day, I wouldn't want anything to be elevated in our system, you simply just deny this end of the day. But if you don't do that, the user can freely run the application he would like to. He simply just has to open it up again if you press no. And if you press no, he runs it now. And you will see that actually currently not in the admin group, but the application is still hiding behind my command prompt here, and you're allowed to run your application, even though you are still not put into the admin group. And we quit here. If you are in a situation where you actually would like to be put into the admin group, you can use the admin session function, and you can put a approval flow on and reasoning again, as we just saw, or you can set it off. And for support, developers, or anything like that, you might want to have the approval flow off, or how you would like it. It's free to stop yourself how you would like that. We will come into sub-settings and how you can target different groups with different settings in just a moment. But just to showcase you, if we would like to run an admin session, we simply just press this one, right click it, and then request admin session. We can also use this over here, and you can brand it however you would like. And if we would like an admin session, I'll do this thing. Session, and from here I get 45 minutes to run any application. Some applications do actually allow or need a full admin user, fully citation, because you are still in our environment. So we currently have a user that is put into the admin group, and that's the user that's currently on this virtual machine. And right now, if I would like to run an application, I can just simply go ahead and do that. I can run this. You get a little bit because this is apparently an unknown publisher of NoPub++. It's nice to know. And I'll get to run that. I can also run Microsoft Edge elevated if I would like to do that. And be able to run anything. If I come across something malicious, I have my fake malware here, and if I come across these malicious things, you'll see that I tried to run it. This app has been blocked because it contains malware, and the user is currently not in the admin group again. So we close anything down that's elevated if you attempt to run anything malicious, and this is because we do the upswap and the virus total scan of the application, and this one pops out in case of that. You will also be able to see in the order log what has happened in the past few minutes where I have been testing this, and you'll see, okay, I currently did this. I ran my NoPub++. Who ran it? Who approved it? It was also me. Good job. I'm currently testing. And besides that, you get a little bit about the application that was executed down here, and you get a tab that says that nothing was actually installed or uninstalled during this time. And you have some actions that could take over here. So this is an easy tool to really pre-approve certain applications, so you don't have to go through the approval flow all the time. And you can block certain applications, so you do not have to go through the approval flow yet again. And you get a little bit about the execution time over here. For my admin sessions, I have a different tab here. And as you'll see, this is the one that I currently ran, where we attempted to run an application. So you actually see here that it marked the application that we tried to run. It also marked that I did run in Notepad++ and I did run in Microsoft Edge, but nothing was currently installed in our environment. Besides that, you can then approve or block these applications. So you could go ahead and approve your virus if it wasn't virus after all. If developer is just making a new build that compiles into something, system file, something, then you're able to approve it here. Besides that, you can check the path and you can do another virus total check of the application. So you get a lot of information from the audit log, and you can export this with our integration tools as you can with our request. So just to briefly put it out there, here you have the integration hub. The support integration that we have is for ServiceNow, Slack, Teams, mobile app, Jira, we have Zoom tools, Microsoft Sentinel, Splunk, Public API, Power BI, Web. Yeah, you get the info, access to the portal to allow other people to approve or deny requests. You can set this up, and for the endpoints we have these options. Every one of these tabs comes with a little guide. So for example, for the mobile app, you just simply press here and then you get a little, okay, how do you set it up? How does it work? The order log, if you would like to approve or deny a request here, and you can even set it up to your watch. You would like to approve the TeamViewer installation from your watch. So you can sit in the Teams meeting while the boss is talking, and then you can approve from here. So this is some of the integration that we have. So you do not, besides the initial setup, you do not actually have to leave or into the portal. You don't have to enter the portal to do any of your work. You can continue in the environment you're already working in today. And that is the thought behind this, that you set it up, we're there, you shouldn't be able to see us or detect us. You should just continue your day as you want to. Now we have a few more settings to go into. As you see on the left side here, we currently in the authorization, our two core products, Runners Admin and Administration, is here. This is when you get this is basically what you need to know about our product. But we also have some layers of complexity that you can dig into here. So for example, for the endpoints, you have here the ability to brand your applications the way you would like. You could add your own logo. And for the prompt, you can, for example, the skin to auto detect, the language to auto detect. You can also force Danish or Chinese, German, if that's what you wish to. And for example, for the phone field here, as we talked about earlier, you can set this as mandatory, optional, or hide here. So here you can customize that if you want that to be gone. And then you can give a little instruction. This is after the application is run, or just before or after the approval. You get an application that we do, for example, innovation can only be approved between 8 and 16. And then they know that this is the time frame that they have to operate within. Or before an admin session, you can do the same. Say what is your code of conduct. Be sure to check something in terms of this. Besides that, we have the shortcuts, you know that, and then we have the UAC prompt. So here you have the ability to choose to either confirm, put MFA on, or authenticate. And if you use a different MFA than 365, you simply just add a new method. And besides that, you can set it to email match on or off. So if you have it on off, then you need a separate admin email account to be able to elevate things in your environment. And this is to comply with some compliance stuff in certain areas that you can use this. So we have extra layers of protection. So if you leave, for example, your endpoint in the production and you have it on confirm only and you're allowed to elevate anything, you're not really that safe, right? So people would like to have multi-factor authentication, and to really confirm that you are the user that runs the application that you say you run. So we can use that, and then we can use the authenticator. And this is just linked to your currently setup that you have in your environment. You can alter this a little bit with the policies that you set in place in your own environment. So be aware of that. If it doesn't work, it's probably because you set your policies to something. To get the MFA to work, you need to connect with your tenant. So for the tenant, you either have the option to use Enter ID, Google, Jumpstart, or Okta, and here we can fetch your groups that you already have. And to do that, you simply just follow this guide. What you will see on our webpage in general is, to the left we have what you can do, the actionable things, and to the right we have documentation, links to documentation, how to set it up in very expanded guides, 22 steps here, and for different scenarios and stuff like that. So all landing pages here comes with a short guide to the right or below. So feel free to explore that if you have any questions. Besides that, let's jump into it. We managed to get to the endpoint. In the lockdown section, we have the ability to run as admin with certain settings. We can say that we would love to deny elevation of system files. We can deny elevation of system file subprocesses. So for example, with the first one, if you deny that, then your command prompt PowerShell wouldn't be allowed to run in a run as admin session. And with the system file subprocesses, if you run a command prompt, you're not allowed to open PowerShell or something like that. You're not allowed to enable or run any other system files as elevated through that process. So that could be a good thing to turn on if you like to have some coding or if you have text editors or anything like that. Then this one is a good one to enable to really not elevate other things in your environment through the initial elevated application. And the same goes for the sub-admin session. You can block certain things here, and even though the user is put into the admin group, you are still able to tweak it a little bit because it's in our environment. You can deny elevation of system files and system file subprocesses even though you are in the admin group. So we got the control of that. Support assist, talked a little about that in the beginning, that you are allowed to elevate yourself on another endpoint. So if you're a supporter, you just log in and then you set that, okay, the supporter has 30 minutes of time to elevate on the application or elevate on the endpoint. And then you can set to close at the end. And you can also set it that supporters should not be allowed by this individual. Besides that, you can lock the device to owner. So the first owner that logs onto the endpoint is the one that's allowed to be elevated on the endpoint. If you have shared devices or anything like that, it could be auditoriums or anything, any place where you might have a shared device, this can be really useful. And finally, we have the Intune compliance. You can toggle this on, and then you can define the rules that you would like to have in your environment. So this can add a lot of complexity to your system, but it can also really improve security. But if you miss your Intune compliance, might be a firewall that's briefly switched off, or a Windows update that hasn't been run, or you can set up so many rules that you are basically never allowed to run anything. But it can also be really nice if you are in a super secure environment. Then you just toggle this on. And then we have the malware that we saw before with the virus total and the Oswald. Then we can set on to always work on your application, not always work. We do not conflict with your malware detection tools or anything like that. We just lock the application that you're trying to run. But you can toggle it off if that's what you wish to do. And then you can also swap what actions should be taken. So you can say quarantine or permanently blocked. These are the options. And in the notification, you can say, okay, who should actually have a notification if something malicious is being attempted to run. So you can do that. And we have the notification tab for a lot more. Also here, who is trying to run a request or something like that, who should receive a mail on that issue. And then we have the option to pre-approve applications. As you saw in the audit log, we really recommend that you pre-approve through the audit log. This is one of the easiest way to do it, to see what application was actually run in your environment. And same goes for block. So if you block and pre-approve an application, the same application, the leftmost is the one that dominates. So if you pre-approve anything, it will always be allowed to run, even if you block them. So be sure to remove it from block, but you will also be notified that, okay, you both pre-approved and blocked the application. But besides that, you can put a machine learning on. So if you run an application, for example, more than 2 times and you have this enabled, then the third time you do not have to approve the request. And it makes a little report over here that you can see what application was actually locked and is now pre-approved in your environment. This can really ease your workload if you're in a big organization and you get hundreds of requests a day. Proving some of the hashes can be really beneficial for you. And then we have an AI approval is based on an aggregated vendor score and app score that we've seen in our environment. And based on how often we successfully seen that application, we give it a score, and you can score through it. On the vendor side, it does not take too long to get down to a lower number. On the app score, it takes a little bit longer to get down to excellent. So if you set it for 90, you will only be able to run the 100 scored application. We do see that machine learning is the favorite option of these, so I would definitely recommend using that. Besides that, we have the trade tools, and the trade tools is accessed through the agent here and the tools here. So you will see we have the uninstall, device manager, network adapter settings. These are settings that you normally would find in your control panel, which is locked down because you're now no longer an admin. But then we provide an option for you to access these settings through this. So you can add from the quick list. We have the printer add here, or you can add a new trade tool to your application, and then you can pre-approve it, or you can do what you would like here. But this is an easy way to gain access to these applications. So I can actually, if I do edit in network adapter settings, this is one of the common ones that we see. We can see, okay, I would like to pre-approve this. Pre-approved network adapter settings, and if I do network adapter settings, you see here, still get a little pop-up here, and I am currently, maybe it's behind here, yeah, it's behind here. I'm currently in here, and I can change the settings that I would like to with this. Yeah. So that is my virtual machine as IP, and you can change that how you would like to in the network adapter settings. And now we can dig into the sub settings. For the sub settings, you can use your currently developed AD groups. You see, I have different groups here. I have for IT supporters, developers, and marketing. What I would recommend is the most the users with the most rights should be placed on top, because the top one overrules the bottom one if the user is in multiple groups. So The IT supporter might be in the standard user group, but he might also be in this IT supporter AD group also. So put the IT supporter AD group on top if he needs to be able to have different settings. And for the subsettings, how you really target it, you make a group, you type in the user must be in group IT users. You can also do it in the OU. You can target the computer in the group, and you can target the computer in the OU. So you can set up how you would like, differentiate it how you would like, or you can make a new AD group in your Intune environment or anything like that. But how you scope these settings is, as we saw before, is the same. Authorization are two core features, admin session and run as admin, and then you just choose to overrule the global settings in this case. So if you didn't, it would be grayed out like this, and my IT supporter, he would just be targeted by the global settings. But here we enable again and do like this. I would like to have my IT supporters to have not to go through an approval flow, because when the house is on fire, they need to put out that fire. And the same goes with the endpoint. Maybe because they are allowed to do certain things, that we put a MFA on their approval process. Instead, so we are sure that they are the ones that are elevating in their environment. And we can differentiate the lockdown as we went through, and the malware, and we can also differentiate the app control. So what should be pre-approved for certain user groups, and we can say that okay, these are the global ones. The global pre-approves hits everyone, but my IT supporters might need to have access to some versions of Visual Studio Code. So just to go through the pre-approved flow, you can go into this here, and when you press pre-approve this file, we will automatically fetch the hash of that file. You can pre-approve on checksum, which is this. You can pre-approve on digital certificate if it had one. This file does not currently. You can do it on directories or cloud storage or anything like that. You can do it like that. And you can do it on folder tree or legacy application. There might be some old legacy application that needs to be elevated, and then you can use this one to do that. But yeah, once you put it here, it will end up in the app control tab that we just saw, and you will be allowed to run the application regardless. So right now I have pre-approved Rufus. If I try Notepad++, you'll see I have to go through the flow. If I go through my Rufus, I am simply allowed to just run this application as I would like to, since it's been pre-approved for me. If I need a supporter to help me with elevating certain applications, I would then go to here. You can access our assistance however you would like. If I need help with installing Google Chrome, I do not have the permission to do so. The supporter can log in here. He can type in his hardcore user. Maybe I'll do this user 2. And he will get a session of 30 minutes to run any applications in this environment as user 2. It will still be locked that user 2 is running applications in here. And if user 2 would like an admin session, the IT supporter would like an admin session, he simply just start our admin session, and he has to type in his own because he's not approved for this. But if he was, he would simply just run applications. So you actually see here, no one is currently in admin group. But if I run the Rufus again, you'll see that it was user 2 that ran Rufus in user 1's context. So if I just finish the session here, I get let's go here and go to the auto log again, and we see here what happened. So user 1 ran the application, but it was actually user 2 that initiated it. So this is how you see the user was assisted by user. and then you can also block this file, and you can see what was actually run in the application. So this is a great tool for help desk to really analyze what happened in that environment. Yep, feel free to download the free plan. Everything you saw today is available on the free plan. All the logs is available on the free plan. The APIs that you need to set up to integrations is available on the free plan and can be migrated over to the paid plan, however you would like it. You have access to the reports. You get a little dashboard of what applications is run in your environment. You can approve from your reports here. So one of the reports I like to use is elevated applications. So here you can, for example, see that Notepad Plus is elevated quite a few times in the last half a month, 2 weeks, and you're able to pre-approve from the audit log. So we have so many reports that you can fetch, and you can also put a sleeper agent out on your endpoints. So you can collect the reports if you want a smooth onboarding of the product. You can have a sleeper agent. You do not revoke admin right. You do not do those sort of things. But then you collect the data that you would like see, and then you can pre-approve your applications, and then you can lock everything down again, and then require the approval flow. This can be used for a smooth transition, and it would be my recommendation to do. You do a little sleep agent, and then maybe make some sub settings to elevate yourself. Besides that, we recommend that the global settings should be as strict as possible, because this will be your fallback layer. If you do not hit a certain user with a AD group or anything like that, then the global setting works as a fallback settings. So if you want to elevate things or people or use computers, do it in the sub settings. That is our recommendation for sure. Besides that, if you need some troubleshooting, the inventory is a great place to do that. Here you'll see the endpoints. You have the hardware, you have the software on the endpoint. A little bit about what is running on this one. What software is currently on my endpoint. You'll also get a little bit about that. Besides that, you are able to provide a pin code if you have a blocked application. You can assess which admins are in here. If you have a domain group or domain issue or something, they will show up here that you can enable them. Then we have a break glass function where you can put an account on my endpoint for a certain period of time. So I would like to have a sleeper account on my endpoint for 15 minutes. I simply generate an account, and then I can, on my endpoint, log into this account once it's enabled. So, like this, now I have a break glass account built on my endpoint. This is kind of like a labs function that many of you already know. Besides that, you have the event log. You can see what is happening on the endpoint, what was run on the endpoint, anything sticking out here, and you're able to assess that, anything that happened here. And then you have a link to the audit log, what was actually done on the endpoint, and if you make sub-settings, which we recommend, you can see if there are any matching sub-settings here. So this is a great way to troubleshoot yourself, and we really recommend that you do that. And at the same time, you can see who is owner of this endpoint, and if you need to release the ownership of the auditorium PC, you can do it here. If you need additional login, you make it here. You can do the provisional setup and the SCIM activity. You can set it up with the SCIM account, and you can use your user login tab here. I really actually recommend that you use the user login tab here, because it's easy to manage. The other thing is also easy to manage, but just know that this is not the tenant connector. So you do not import your AD groups and hit them with the permissions and the subsettings through this. You do that through the tenant. So that's an important thing to differentiate. But if you need an additional portal user, you can just set it up with credentials, 2-factor, or 365 if you connected with that in the tenant. And you can manage what he should be able to manage. You can also set the scope for what he should be able to manage. So if HR needs to only manage HR, then you put the HR subgroup here, and then that is perfect. Then the HR supports HR, and that might be the option that you would like. You can also have different the support team here, and you can say, okay, maybe they should not be able to approve a request or something like that, or they should not be able to change settings. So yeah, you can alter what you would like here. That is the quick run through of the portal. There are more things, of course, and more functionality and stuff like that. And if you have a doubt of anything, you just follow the documentation. Here we are able to help you. There's an admin guide. That's how the different things works are here. How do you set up the API, and you got a lot here. On the paid plan, you also get this tab, the support tab, where you can make your tickets and stuff like that. And besides that, the inventory is a good place to troubleshoot. And yeah, if anything, then reach out to one of our colleagues. If anything is bothering you, we will find a solution to that. That was it for me. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and be sure to really get going with the free plan. It's super easy to set up, it's super easy to deploy, and it's unlimited. So that is what I have for you today. Thank you for your time.